Hey everybody, this is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Rogue Brand. Today I want to talk a little bit about sanctuary cities and the challenge that Trump is going to have when he tries to take on the status quo. If you want to be clear about what's going on in Chicago, then that's one of the main focuses. You had Ron Emanuel come out and say, "You're not coming in our city," blah blah blah. It's basically always been a sanctuary city. You're safe in Chicago. You're secure in Chicago. You're supported in Chicago, according to Rahm Emanuel. But how many people really feel safe and secure in Chicago right now? And nothing really defines progressive arrogance any better than the idea that rule of law can be ignored by these mayors when it doesn't align with their superior wisdom on issues. And they're very entrenched in their ideology, their progressivism. The effort to deconstruct the sanctuary cities is one of the most important issues out there. Trump will have the law on his side. There's a section 1373 of the U.S. Federal Code, which it basically makes it clear the capabilities, the abilities of what the federal government can do in regards to these. There's also section 133 of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act, which allows U.S. attorney generals to come in there, just another tool they have to basically go in, investigate, apprehend, and detain people. But despite these statutes, more than 340 municipalities, Chicago's not alone out there, have been identified by ICE as having policies that are non-cooperative or, let's just say it, obstructive with law enforcement when it comes to illegal immigrants. There was a report that was released last August by the Center of Immigration Studies, CIS, and it basically illuminated the damning consequences of their defiance. And basically between 2014 and 2015, if you look at the numbers, more than 17,000 ICE detainees were rejected from municipalities, meaning they couldn't go in there after the illegal and apprehend them, including about 11,800 detainers for individuals with prior criminal histories. And this should be concerning. Detailed information of crimes committed by illegals would go a long way towards underscoring the recklessness of these sanctuary city policies and perhaps galvanize public opinion on the issue. Perhaps galvanize it against the sanctuary cities, which is why they don't want the information out there. The same government agencies that crunch numerous sets of crime statistics are either unable or unwilling to provide comprehensive data on what the issue with the illegals and their criminal activity, which is disturbing. Illegal aliens imprisoned from homicide or related offenses in 5 states, Arizona, California, Florida, my Florida, New York, and Texas, all have high illegal populations. They account for 5,400 homicides. Isn't that disturbing when you think about this whole sanctuary city thing, folks? Think about it. For illegal immigration advocates, the level of slaughter is apparently tolerable. Tolerable because it's using the data we have. It seems impossible, if not downright irresponsible, to claim that those immigrants are more likely to commit crimes than American-born neighbors. It's just common sense that it's going to happen. Americans are supposed to take solace with the idea that people shouldn't be here at all, might be murdering, raping, molesting, otherwise accosting them at lower rates than American criminals are. Think about it. It doesn't get any more intellectually smarter than that or morally bankrupt than that. And the Trump administration, their aims to cut federal funding for sanctuary cities. Where's that going to go? Obama administration actually rewards sanctuary cities out there. I know you're sitting there probably thinking, reward? Come on, Frank, that's ridiculous. He awards them with federal grants. Is it any wonder why politicians in cities like Chicago and New York, Boston, Oakland, Denver insist that they maintain their sanctuary city status? Because they're getting those federal grants. Rahm Emanuel, whose city endured more than 600 murders and 3,000 shootings so far this year, epitomizes their arrogance when he comes out and makes statements like he's made. And Trump's efforts to stop this nonsense will be hindered by one certainty and one possibility. It's like the law enforcement out there when you really want to sit down and think about it. Agencies and various locales will take the hit. It remains to be seen if political officials will be willing to endure the likely wrath of the American citizens who realize their safety is being held hostage by these progressively inspired lawlessness that is going on within these sanctuary cities. It remains to be seen if the GOP Congress will have the backbone to summon the necessary forces together to withhold any funding. Nothing says reform more than reining in the rampant lawlessness that these sanctuary cities epitomize. We need to explore ways to limit the funding. Why are they being protected in these areas? Why are we giving them money to protect these individuals in these sanctuary cities? Think about it, folks. And this should be concerning. Successful litigation by sanctuary city criminal victims, making liable, making their the people who come after them or officials liable for large cash rewards is one way to do it. We should continue to pursue that with vigor all over the nation. Maybe when these city officials see they're facing some kind of charges, some kind of lawsuit, some kind of financial calamity, maybe they'll stop supporting the lawlessness. In 2016, millions of Americans voted to upend the status quo when they win with Trump. Sanctuary cities are one of the worst aspects of the status quo. Americans have lived with this lawlessness, which has been orchestrated by progressive politicians, long enough. And being a nation of laws, we need to basically respect all laws, shouldn't we? Not just the ones that the progressives like. And I reiterate, there are two different ordinances, laws, whatever you want, on the books, statutes, that gives these police the right to go in there and do what they want and enforce our laws. And these mayors are out of bounds. And the only reason they are is because they're getting federal grants and loans, which are encouraging them to continue down this illegal path. What say you? This has been Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.